The rain hammered against the windows of Marcus Chen's small apartment on the edge of New Houston's industrial district. He was halfway through his instant noodles when he heard the desperate knocking at his door. 3 figures stood in the downpour. 2 young Velkari females, their luminescent skin flickering weakly in distress, supported an elderly member of their species between them. The grandmother's once vibrant bioluminescent patterns had faded to a sickly gray. "Please," the taller sister said in broken English, her translator device crackling with water damage. "Grandmother dying. Med center refuse. No credits, no papers." Marcus should have closed the door. Everyone knew the rules. Unregistered aliens were the government's problem, not his. The Velkari were one of dozens of species that had flooded Earth after the Galactic Transit Network opened, and the bureaucracy couldn't keep up. Most humans had stopped caring, but Marcus saw his own grandmother in those desperate eyes. "Get inside," he said, stepping aside. The sisters helped their grandmother onto his worn couch. Up close, Marcus could see the elderly Velkari's breathing was labored, her chest rising and falling in irregular patterns. The younger sister, who introduced herself as Lyra, explained through tears that their grandmother had contracted stellar flux syndrome during their journey to Earth. The treatment was simple for registered aliens, but without documentation, they'd been turned away from every facility. "The medicine," Lyra's older sister Kes said, showing him a data pad with galactic standard text. "We need Trilaxin 7, but it costs 5,000 credits." Marcus's heart sank. He barely made that in 3 months working at the cargo docks. His savings account held exactly 842 credits, money he'd been saving for his mother's surgery back in Indonesia. He looked at the dying grandmother, at the 2 desperate sisters, and made a choice that surprised even himself. "Wait here." Marcus spent the next 4 hours calling in every favor he had. His dock supervisor owed him for covering weekend shifts. His neighbor, a former smuggler, knew where to find gray market medications. His poker buddy worked in the shipping manifest office and could expedite delivery for the right price. By 3 a.m., Marcus had traded away his savings, his month's salary advance, and his grandfather's antique watch, but he held a small vial of Trilaxin 7 in his trembling hands. Kes administered the medicine with practiced efficiency. Within minutes, color began returning to their grandmother's skin, her bioluminescent patterns flickering back to life like stars emerging after a storm. "You saved her," Lyra whispered, fresh tears streaming down her face. "Why, we are nothing to you." "We cannot repay this." Marcus shrugged, exhausted. "My grandmother raised me after my parents died. She used to say that humanity's greatest strength isn't our technology or our weapons. It's that we choose to care even when it costs us everything." The grandmother's eyes opened. She studied Marcus with ancient, knowing eyes, then spoke in her native tongue. Kes translated, her voice filled with emotion. "She says you have the heart of a true universal guardian, one who protects the weak regardless of species. She says this is rare even among Velkari. She wishes to perform the ceremony of eternal gratitude." Before Marcus could ask what that meant, the grandmother placed her hand on his chest. Warmth spread through him, and he gasped as foreign memories flooded his mind. Star systems he'd never seen, languages he'd never learned, technologies beyond human comprehension. What did she do?" Kes smiled. "Our grandmother was not always a refugee. Before the war, she was a keeper of knowledge, one of the 12 great scholars of Velkar Prime. She has shared her lifetime of learning with you, every language she knows, every scientific principle, every diplomatic protocol of 200 civilizations." Marcus stumbled backward, his mind reeling. He could suddenly read the galactic standard text on the data pad. He understood the quantum mechanics behind the faster-than-light drives that had brought aliens to Earth. He knew the political landscape of a dozen alien empires. "This is too much," he protested. "I just did what anyone should do." "But they didn't," Lyra said softly. 47 people saw us in the rain tonight. 47 doors closed in our faces. Only yours opened." The grandmother spoke again, and this time Marcus understood her directly. "Young human, you gave everything to save one you did not know. This gift is not payment, it is recognition. Your species stands at a crossroads. In 10 years, humanity will face a choice that determines whether you join the galactic community as equals or as subjects. You now have the knowledge to guide them wisely." As dawn broke over New Houston, Marcus Chen stood at his window watching the city wake. The sisters had fallen asleep curled around their grandmother, finally at peace. His apartment was cramped, his bank account empty, and his future uncertain. But his mind burned with the wisdom of civilizations, and his heart carried the weight of responsibility. He thought of all the humans who had turned away from suffering because it wasn't their problem. He thought of his grandmother's words about choosing to care. Marcus pulled out his phone and began typing an email to the city council, outlining in perfect galactic standard the legal framework for alien refugee assistance. It was just the first step. By the time the sisters woke, Marcus had already changed, not just with the knowledge in his head, but with the certainty in his heart. Humanity's greatest strength had always been there, waiting for individuals brave enough to prove it, one act of compassion at a time. The universe was watching, and Marcus Chen had just shown them what humans were truly capable of.